NBC is the place to be.
Can just any lawyer successfully try a serious injury case in court? No. Only the special skills of an experienced trial lawyer will maximize your chances of winning. Having served injured persons for over 50 years, Habish, Habish & Davis has that experience.
At Habish, Habish & Davis, knowing the law is knowing how to win.
Honda has been named #1 in import owner loyalty for the 14th year in a row, which means year after year, more people buy Honda after Honda. Why? Because you get what you pay for.
The Accord Lease Program. See your nearest Honda dealer for details.
Coming up on News Channel 4 at 10, in the largest anti-spearing protest so far, demonstrators say they will not back down. In Germany and the U.S., neo-Nazis take to the streets to celebrate Hitler's birthday. Storman Norman Schwarzkopf is headed for the States. His homecoming promises to be a big one. Those stories just ahead, but first a look at tonight's winning Megabucks numbers. Here they are for $2 million, 2, 5, 28, 43, 3, and 37.
Dining and bedroom floor samples. Roy Hill dining rooms now $3.99. Thomasville bedrooms now $9.99. Spring cleanup floor sample clearance continues this week at Calder's.
Today, just knowing something gets you nowhere. To do anything with it, you must first understand it. Are you with me? And for that, people, you have to dig into it. To go down deep where the truth hides out and get the facts. The key to understanding is in the details. And the details are in the written word. Get a hold of what's happening.
From WTMJ TV, Milwaukee's 24-hour news channel, this is Tim Blotz, Elizabeth Kay, Alan Seals, and Dennis Krause. This is News Channel 4 at 10.
Good evening. A resounding vote to keep up the protests. And tonight they're following through on that promise. It's the biggest night yet this year of anti-spearfishing protests in northern Wisconsin. News Channel 4's Mike Strelo joins us live from Oneida County via Skylink 4. Mike, what's the latest?
Well, Mike, as expected, the crowds tonight are larger and louder than the past few nights. Anti-treaty rights leaders urged protesters to come out to the boat landings tonight, and they responded. About 250 protesters stood behind a snow fence overlooking the boat landing at Sand Lake. Occasionally, they would blow whistles and raise their voices in protest. Spearers were undaunted and somewhat amused by it all.
I'm not discouraged, that they're here. I'm still going to go out spearing, even if they're here or not. The treaty gave me the right to spear, and I'm going to go spearing.
I'd like a show of hands of how many are going to go to the boat landings to protest.
Earlier in the day, protesters voted to continue the boat landing demonstrations during their 5th annual Stop Treaty Abuse rally. They also called on State Attorney General Jim Doyle to appeal a federal ruling upholding the Chippewas off-reservation fishing rights.
Unfortunately, we only have 29 days to come up with a solution. After that, the appeal will be gone, the time lag. So we got to do what we can. Right now, tonight we're doing what we can. If we find some vehicle or if the Attorney General tells us what he wants us to do to show that we would like an appeal to reach that margin, we'll be glad to do it.
50 miles away from Sand Lake, about 150 treaty rights supporters watched as spears embarked on turtle flambeau flowage. Now, although the crowd tonight is larger and a little bit more vocal than previous nights, there have been no problems. The protest tonight has been generally peaceful. Mike?
Dean Chris said earlier today, Mike, that he had a, quote, horrible sinking feeling that the protests just weren't doing what he wanted them to do. Does that seem to be the general feeling from protesters up there tonight?
This week, perhaps, yes, he felt that way, Mike, but as he looks at the crowd tonight and talks to people tonight. He's going to be taking a look at how things are going to develop over the next 4 weeks, and if the plan of attack doesn't work here, he's going to develop another strategy, but they're going to continue the anti-treaty rights movement. Mike?
All right, Mike Strela live in Oneida County. Thank you. A teenage drinking party ends in tragedy this morning, and a guest is shot to death. 16-year-old Michael League was wrestling over a small handgun when it went off and killed him. It happened in this Southside Milwaukee home. The host's parents were out of town, and there were lots of young people who had come over for a party.
Apparently they all had been drinking, and the homicide occurred when two individuals involved in an argument grabbed a gun, and the two of them were fighting for the gun when the 16-year-old was killed.
Michael League was a sophomore at Pius High School. The single gunshot that killed him ruptured a major artery, according to an autopsy. Police have a 15-year-old in custody. He is likely to face juvenile charges on Monday. Today would have been the 102nd birthday of Adolf Hitler. In Dresden, Germany, heavy police reinforcements corralled a neo-Nazi rally in Hitler's honor today. More than 40 people were arrested when counter-demonstrators protested the rally. Last year on Hitler's birthday, right-wing skinheads went on a rampage in Dresden, attacking foreign workers and a bar frequented by homosexuals. And in Denver, Colorado, a white supremacist rally sparked crowds of people opposed to the glorification of Hitler. Neo-Nazi speakers claimed that the white race must, quote, form a new nation and a new future. But the anti-Nazi crowd shouted down the speakers by chanting, quote, Hitler shot himself. Why don't you? In the Mideast, Kurdish rebel sources say leaders of 4 Kurdish groups are meeting with Saddam Hussein in Baghdad now, trying to work out a peaceful settlement. Sources say Saddam is willing to discuss everything except Kurdish secession from Iraq. The White House says it's unaware of the meeting, but does not object to the talks. Secretary of State James Baker is in Cairo tonight trying to piece together a Mideast peace conference. But so far, Baker has not had much luck. Baker said today that participants in the peace conference would likely be limited to Israel's next-door Arab neighbors and Palestinians. That would exclude Saudi Arabia, one country the U.S. was hoping would participate. Stormin' Norman is heading home to a hero's welcome in Tampa, Florida. The commander of Operation Desert Storm left Saudi Arabia, where he has spent most of the past 7 months. Before leaving, he was awarded the highest Saudi honor ever given to a non-Saudi soldier. Schwarzkopf called the war an all-out Allied victory, but said he felt sorry for the Kurdish refugees.
Our heart cries out to the Kurdish people. I don't think, though, that we should ever say that because what's happening to the Kurds now means that our mission has failed. It's exactly the same thing that happened to the Kurds a few years ago at the end of the Iran-Iraq War.
MacDill Air Force Base near Tampa, Florida will be the site of Schwarzkopf's homecoming tomorrow. Officials there are afraid too many well-wishers might show up. Never too early to think about the Earth. When we come back, Earth Day Eve and celebrations in Milwaukee.
Going to be hard to get any warmth around here, but at least it's going to stay dry. I'll have the forecast details.
In sports, the last regular season game for the Bucks. We'll show you how they did against the Indiana Pacers at the Bradley Center. See if they snap that losing streak. Coming up.
Looks like a typical fender bender.
Exactly.
There's no such thing. Okay, where would you begin? For starters, I'd put in a new windshield. But without a new seal, you'll have one wet customer.
At Safeco, our claims representatives are so thoroughly trained that no matter what's wrong with your car, they make sure it's repaired right. Right down to the smallest details.
Broken bolt on the cross member.
In fact, our president guarantees it.
So, tomorrow, engines.
If you start any remodeling project without planning carefully, you could be left in the dark.
Honey?
So let the Enlightened Remodeling video light the way. It will guide you through everything from choosing a contractor to creating the beauty of a home lit by window light. The Enlightened Remodeling video, just $2.95 at Anderson Window Center stores.
Zern Building, Allenton. Home Lumber, Delavan. A. Fillinger, Milwaukee.
Sign, gardens, and gifts, 'cause everybody
Save on the Ames Green Sweeper Lawn Rake. It's strong, light, and won't rust. Regularly $9.99, on sale now for just $5.44. Make lawn cleanup easy with the Ames Kangaroo Lawn and Leaf Cart. Regularly $29.99. Stein special sale price just $16.88.
Every GE appliance is on sale at American. Every GE refrigerator, this 18 cubic foot frost-free is $428 at American's GE sale. Every GE washer and dryer is on sale. This GE 6-cycle washer is $319. GE Deluxe dryers are $278. Every GE range is on sale. This GE self-cleaning range is reduced to $368. Every GE refrigerator, washer and dryer, range, and microwave oven, every GE appliance is on sale at American. Remember, no one beats our selection.
Officially, Earth Day happens tomorrow, but Milwaukee started the celebration today with a parade and festival through Washington Park. Costumes and banners were popular, and they set up information booths on alternative energy and recycling. Free trees brought thousands of environmentally conscious people out to the Milwaukee County Zoo today. WTMJ Radio, the DNR, and the Wisconsin Electric Power Company handed out nearly 4,000 red oak seedlings to people who brought in a bag of recyclable aluminum cans. To the health beat now. As many men approach the age of 60, they face a common and sometimes painful problem, an enlarged prostate. But a new experimental treatment can avoid a lengthy hospital stay and make recovery a lot quicker. Health reporter Denise Calloway has the details.
1 of 3 men over 60 have enlarged prostate glands. Problems occur when the prostate swells to twice its normal size. That cuts off the path urine follows out of the body. The inflammation leads to urinary infection and sometimes sexual dysfunction. The traditional treatment is surgery, but now doctors at the Mayo Clinic are treating some cases with a prostatron, a new device that uses microwave energy.
This is a new non-surgical alternative for the treatment of this disease that we're able to selectively destroy the prostate growth, which causes blockage to the outflow tract from the urinary system. And the treatment is done without the use of general anesthesia.
Doctors use an antenna inserted inside a catheter to deliver a controlled dose of microwave energy that allows them to destroy abnormal prostate growth while returning the prostate to normal and restoring regular urinary function.
The urethral integrity remains intact. That tissue is not destroyed. The cooling allows the heat effect to get deeper penetration into the prostate growth so that we're heating interior portions of the prostate gland and the urethra is preserved.
With this procedure, patients undergo only one outpatient procedure. Patients who undergo this new alternative should be able to resume their normal activities the same day. Denise Calloway, News Channel 4.
Got sunshine and a little wind in your Sunday forecast. Jim Ott's up next with the weather. And later, author Stephen King with a scare of his own. A mad bomber storms his house in Maine.
That's a nice simplicity you got there. How old is it?
29.
Wow, and it still runs.
So?
You ever give you any trouble?
Backed the car into it in '66.
Any damage?
Rear bumper on the car.
How about major service?
Every year, change the oil.
Hey, that's good.
I'm 68. I've never had my oil changed.
There's just no substitute for simplicity.
Now making a limited appearance at your Hyundai dealer, the Sonata Special Edition. This roomy mid-size car features automatic, cruise control, air, stereo, power windows, and a factory discount of over $2,200, which means it costs only $12,320. And factory-to-dealer incentives could save you even more. So if you picture yourself in one, you'd better act now. Test drive the Sonata SE at your nearest Hyundai dealer today.
Inside your smooth-running engine is a torture chamber. And under these grueling conditions, only one leading motor oil meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown. Castrol, the only leading motor oil that provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol. Why make things tougher on your engine? Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Now on sale at all Whitlock Auto Supply stores.
all the projects you take on this summer will work out. But when you use Scott's Turf Builder fertilizer on your lawn, we guarantee that at least one of them will. Scott's, a thick green lawn or your money back.
News Channel 4 continues with Jim Ott and the weather.
And temperatures are dropping out there, although some clouds that have rolled in off of Lake Michigan are holding readings right above the 40-degree mark for now. I do think we'll see some frost away from the lake later on tonight with the lows dropping to around 30. Right now, officially in Milwaukee, 43 degrees. We have 42 here at News 4, and the cool spot, Cedarburg, with 40. It's also 40 in Watertown right now. Let's take a look at the satellite view and show you what's going on. We have a couple of low-pressure areas to the east of us. The main low at the surface that's producing most of the precipitation is along the east coast right now, but an upper air low just east of us, so winds at the surface and aloft are coming out of the northeast. And you can see how some of the clouds from the east have pushed back over the eastern part of Wisconsin. I think we'll be right on the fringes of those clouds throughout the day tomorrow. So we're looking for partly cloudy skies and the continuation of the cool northeast winds that today brought highs only in the 40s to eastern and northern Wisconsin. Our official high at Mitchell Airport, 45 degrees. The low this morning, 37. You can see the mild air pretty far south, made 63 in Memphis, but only 50 at St. Louis. It's going to take a while before any of that mild air gets into Wisconsin. Meanwhile, latest radar chart shows some pretty heavy rains, and steady rains continue along the east coast and down to the southeast. Norfolk, Virginia picking up over 5 inches of rain today. Dry weather across Wisconsin, just a few scattered showers to our west. We should be able to do dry around here with lots of high pressure the next couple of days. The high tomorrow bringing dry weather and some sunshine to Wisconsin. A new weather system taking shape in the west should be missing us to the south over the next few days. Around the state tomorrow, a pretty decent day, but definitely on the cool side. Our current readings include 41 now at News 4. Mitchell has 43, the wind north at 17, gusting to 26. The pressure is holding steady. Tonight's forecast, cloudy to partly cloudy, and lows will range from 30 inland to 35 at the lakeshore. Tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, 43 at the lake, 55 in our western counties. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, again some frost likely away from the lake. And for Monday, look for sunny to partly cloudy weather, a little warmer, but you're going to have to go inland to find much of that with highs near 60 in our western counties. And dry weather, a tiny warm up as the week moves along.
There should be a study sometime how many days Monday is sunnier than Sunday. How many times? I think it's often.
A brilliant idea you got.
Check into that, all right?
Sure.
Thank you very much. Stephen King might have called this book The Mad Bomber, but it happened in his real-life house. King's wife, Tabitha, was awakened by a noise in their Bangor, Maine home early this morning.
About 6 o'clock this morning, Mrs. King surprised an intruder, a burglar, into her home. The intruder indicated that he had a bomb and ran off into the home.
Mrs. King called police from a neighbor's house. They cornered the intruder in an upstairs bedroom in the King home, and the bomb turned out to be a fake. The man claims he is writing a sequel to King's bestseller, Misery. Guess he can write it from the jail cell, huh?
The man was James Caan, and that's what's scary about it.
That's who it was.
Yeah,
I knew I recognized
wasn't identified. Just
Bucks last game tonight.
That's right. We've got Bucks highlights. They had a home game. Also, the Brewers had a home game. And Badger football in town at Waukesha. All coming up in sports.
For the look that gets the looks, use Dutch Boy Satin Finish Paint. It's the one finish every room should start with.
Dutch Boy, he works hard for your money.
1 out of 4 Americans will suffer from heart disease. Maybe someone you know and love. But you can help lower your family's risk by giving them foods low in cholesterol and fat. Foods like Mrs. Carl's bread. It has no cholesterol or saturated fat, and that's good for your heart. So feed your family right, because you can't tell who's going to suffer from heart disease just by looking at them.
The doctor's office. A sudden illness just came over the Fuller family. For some families, that could be costly, but not for the Fullers, because they have the Gold Star Health Policy from American Family Insurance. With Gold Star, the Fullers only pay 1 family deductible per year.
Oh, come on.
No matter how many family members there are.
American Family Insurance.
Look in the white or yellow pages for the American Family agent nearest you.
What'll $5.99 buy you a Chi-Chi's? And if a good time's not enough, we'll throw in our queso burro, along with a beef enchilada, Mexican salad, and rice. Not to mention all the chips and salsa you can eat. It's Chi-Chi's new queso burro combo, just $5.99. The most fun you can possibly get on a 10 by 12 platter.
Chi-Chi's, a celebration of food.
Now, Dennis Krause and News Channel 4 Sports.
Well, tonight's Bucks game against Indiana at the Bradley Center meant nothing in the playoff standings, but it meant a lot if the Bucks didn't want to go into the playoffs on a 5-game losing streak. Del Harris was back on the bench after missing a game with the flu. Liked what he saw. Watch Jay Humphries and Frank Brakowski working the two-man game to perfection. That's beautiful. Bucks by 7 in the first quarter. Chuck Person, though, for 3, and Indiana within 3. Bucks going to need Adrian Dantley to be strong inside for the playoffs. Here he is, 37-26 Bucks after 1. They shot 73% in the period. Second quarter, Detlef Schrempf gets out for the slam. Pacers within 7, but then the Bucks go on a run to go up by 20. Jay Humphries hit a couple of jumpers in a row. 20 points for Jay on the night. Fred Roberts had 17 in the first half, 21 on the night. Scores and is fouled here, 72-56. Bucks at the break. Second half, no problem. Alvin Robertson gets the slam. The playoffs start Thursday night at the Bradley Center against Philadelphia. Right now, with about 2 minutes left, the Bucks lead 122-96. They will finish at 48-34. Utah over the Lakers 107-93 this afternoon. Laker coach Mike Dunleavy in a little tussle with Karl Malone. The mailman scored 30 as the Jazz took the inside track for the Midwest Division title. They can clinch that with a win tomorrow. Elsewhere in the NBA, New Jersey defeated Miami, and the Knicks by 6 over Charlotte. Well, the Brewers are seeing an awful lot of the Blue Jays these days. In fact, way too much. Brewers off to a 5-6 start this season, but the record now 1-5 against Toronto after losing to Jimmy Key and the Blue Jays this afternoon at County Stadium. Toronto took a 1-0 lead against Chris Bosio in the top of the first. This is Rance Mullinax slapping the single to left to score Devon White. 1-0 Toronto. Brewers tied it in the bottom of the first. Robin Yount with the fly ball to right field. Mark Whitten is there and makes a good throw, but Paul Molitor's on third. He had doubled earlier, and Paul is safe at the plate. Then in the fourth inning, Gary Sheffield with another hit. This time it's a double. He has been producing the extra base hits. He later scored on a Dante Bichette sac fly to give the Brewers a 2-1 lead, but that would be it against Key. And in the fifth inning, the Blue Jays took the lead to stay with a pair of runs off Bosio. Walks got him into trouble. John Olerud with a double to right. Mullinax scores to tie it at 2. And then Joe Carter scored the go-ahead run for Toronto, and Mark Whitten hits his fly ball to center, a sac fly. Run scores. Bosio went 7 innings but took the loss. 4-2 Blue Jays the final.
They're playing good ball right now, and we're struggling for runs, like you say, and we're just going to keep hacking right now and just hopefully get in a hot streak.
They're tough enough to play, just allowing them what they generate themselves and what they deserve to get themselves. And when you generate some offense for them and some opportunities for them, then you're going to lose some tight ball games. And this is a tight ball game we lost because we were too generous.
4-2 Toronto. They'll wrap up the series tomorrow afternoon at County Stadium. Kevin Brown will be on the mound for Milwaukee. He's the only Brewer to beat Toronto this season. While the old Comiskey Park is fading into memory, Tigers and White Sox at the new Comiskey Park today. It went 12 innings, and Detroit finally prevailed. Tony Phillips with this single to score John Shelby. 2-1 Detroit in 12. Boston defeated Cleveland 2-1. Tom Gordon with 13 strikeouts for Kansas City. Nolan Ryan struck out 10 for Texas. In the fourth, Oakland leads Seattle. Also in the fourth, California leading Minnesota. National League, the Cubs at Pittsburgh, and one swing of the bat really very important for the Pirates. Mike LaValliere with a grand slam in the 6th inning as they rout the Cubs by a score of 9-3. Also, Cincinnati 3-0 over Atlanta. A doubleheader. The Cardinals crushed Philadelphia in the first game. It's 5-5 in the nightcap in the 6th. L.A. San Diego, nothing shaken in the 4th. New York defeated Montreal. It was San Francisco shutting out Houston. And also, I can tell you that the Bucks have won that game 133-100. Well, the Admiral season is over, but hockey fans still have plenty of action to watch in the NHL playoffs. The surprising Minnesota North Stars in St. Louis tonight for Game 2. Minnesota won Game 1 in a surprise. Let's check it out. First period, Garth Butcher for the Blues to tie it at 1. They needed a win in this series. Brian Bellows would score in the second for the North Stars to give them a 2-1 lead, but St. Louis has rallied, and St. Louis in the third period leads 4-2. L.A. leading Edmonton 1-0 in the first period. Barry Alvarez brought his Badger football team to Waukesha for a scrimmage this afternoon. Now, Alvarez obviously is hoping for better things after an initial 1-10 campaign in Madison. Tony Lowry returns as starting quarterback, has a touchdown pass to Milwaukee Marquette's Tom Brown here. The Badgers with one more week of spring practice.
I think we've had a couple players that have come front and center that I'm very pleased with. I think in 9 practices we've accomplished an awful lot. Our 2 junior college players have stepped in and established themselves, which I was very pleased with. We've had a lot of good things happen this spring.
Alvarez spent much of his first season as a salesman, trying to get people interested in Badger football again. But it's what's on the field that counts.
When people ask me questions, I try to be optimistic, but my first priority is being a football coach, and then all the other things that come with that are just secondary.
NFL draft is tomorrow. We'll be in Green Bay for Sports Plus. Now, the Packers have the 8th pick in the first round. The quality of the draft, not very good, to be honest, but the Packers are hoping to find someone to offer some immediate help. Dallas has the number 1 pick, but their negotiations with the Rocket are fizzling so far. The agents for Notre Dame star Rocket Ismail asking for $15.5 million over 5 years, a package that would make the Rocket the 2nd highest paid player in the NFL behind only Joe Montana. The Cowboys said tonight the two sides are far apart, and they hinted that they might take someone else with the top pick. They also could possibly make a trade involving that number 1 selection. And that is a look at sports. We'll be right back.
Milwaukee, someplace special. The kind of place you want to bring up your kids or hold down a job. But sometimes, even in Milwaukee, bad things happen. That's when you better have a good lawyer to give you a hand. Gillick, Murphy, Witt, and Procthauser. Good lawyers who help people.
This is a delicious dish made at home with cremettes, and this is a delicious dish made in a restaurant. With this, when your family's ready to eat, you only need to boil some water and add some of your own healthy ingredients. And, most important, it costs just about 45 cents a serving. On the other hand, a serving of this comes to, plus a tip. Today, making more cremettes just makes more sense.
I heard Hardee's is now making deli, so I came to see if there's any competition.
You have to have fresh ingredients. Slice the meat just so.
It's a nice, big, juicy sandwich.
Okay, a big roast beef with tomatoes, lettuce, and mayo in deli talk.
I've got a beef with Tommy on the grass, schmear 'em.
Chicken filet to go.
Bird from Philly to Schlepp.
To go.
Schlepp.
Schlepp. Turkey club to go.
Big club walking.
Let's taste. There's no better tasting sandwiches than real deli sandwiches. Only Hardee's.
This Hardee's does good deli.
If there's a remote possibility that the taste of fresh squeezed orange juice is passing you by, it may be because your juice is made from concentrate with water added. But Tropicana Pure Premium is not from concentrate. Nothing's ever added or taken away. So no other major brand comes closer to this than this. Don't just sit there and watch. Switch to the great taste of Tropicana Pure Premium. You just can't pick a better juice.
Hey, it's time to rediscover big factory cashback at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Is it exciting? You bet. Me, I'm calm. Voyager, I've had a minivan for years and I love it. And you can save a lot. Look at this, around $13,800, and that's with automatic and air. How do you like that rebate and low price? LeBaron Coupe and convertible, both with rebate. Hey, I'm calm. Really, I'm calm. But I'm telling you, you ought to come in and take a look.
Sticker prices shown are examples. See your Metro Milwaukee Chrysler Plymouth dealers for your best deal.
Finally tonight, a big honor for Wisconsin. Kay Hankins of Prairie du Sac is the new women's world champion cow chip thrower. She unleashed a toss of nearly 111 feet today in the national finals down there in Beaver, Oklahoma. So isn't that nice? Congratulations, Kay. You really flipped that chip a long ways.
Packers not looking for a cow chip, but a blue chip tomorrow.
But there aren't too many in
there
that
aren't
draft,
many. They
right?
pick 8th in the draft. I'll guess Eric Turner, safety UCLA. We'll
Mark
see.
that down.
Yeah.
Okay, and the weather should be decent.
I wonder
for
if she had the wind at her back when she made that toss. Speaking of wind, it's going to be out of the northeast around here again tomorrow. A very common thing in April. That means cooler near the lake.
They said the conditions were aerodynamically correct, but there were no world records down at the Beaver, Oklahoma.
That's the way it goes.
Have a nice night. Thanks for joining us. See you later.